right, good evening. Let's do some yin yoga tonight. I originally was thinking I was going to set up on my porch because it turned into a nice day, and then obviously if you're near me, it's thundering right now. So I retreated to my bedroom because I don't really need a hard surface underneath. I don't really like to do flow on carpet, but yin is totally fine to do on carpet. So I came back here because it's nice and quiet. I put a link to a playlist if you're interested in, following along with some music. Hi, Stephanie. I'm so close I can actually read this. I'm happy to see you too. And hi, Julie. Normally I'm far enough away I can't read the phone. Anyway, playlist if you want to follow with some instrumental music. I'm not going to have any music on. We're going to do 6 poses, 5 minutes each. These 6 poses are my favorite. This is kind of my favorite series in yin. Some of them we've done, well, there's not a ton of yin poses to be honest. So we've done some of these before, but probably not in this order. So come to a comfortable space to start with. Yin yoga is just long held poses. So we're going to hold these poses for 5 minutes each. The idea is that your big muscles get out of the way. You get into your connective tissues. So I'm going to get further away from the camera. Just come to a comfortable space on your mat. You don't necessarily need a mat if you want to just be seated on your floor. Just a place where you can find some stillness and be comfortable. And close your eyes if you want to close your eyes. We're just going to find our breath here before we move into our first pose. We're just going to find some stillness. So you can let those eyes close if you like, or just soften your gaze. And just take some deep, full breaths. Regardless of what you've done all day, make these breaths a little bit more intentional, a little bit deeper. Deep, full breath in. And let it out. Taking that inhale in through your nose. Exhale however you like, through your nose, through your mouth. So for some people, yin yoga, the hard part is coming into the poses and staying in the poses physically. For some people, the hard part is the mental stillness, resisting the urge to pop out of the pose when you're a little uncomfortable and also when you're bored. So you want to come to a place where you're kind of comfortably uncomfortable. You can stay there, but you don't necessarily want to, and just see what happens as you allow your body to settle in. So we're going to make our way into our first pose. I'm going to give you 3 options here. Your right leg's going to cross over your left. And on all 3 of these options, you can keep that bottom leg straight, or you can tuck it in close to you. So the first option would be just to sit up really nice and tall, have that long spine, left elbow comes outside of your right knee, and you just take a twist. And we'll hold this for 5 minutes, so you can take it into that pose. If instead you'd rather get a little bit more into your hips, you can stack your knees. Right knee on top of your left. Again, that bottom leg can be straight if you prefer, but your knees are lining up. You can lean forward, fold forward, however you're comfortable there. And the third option would be to open this up into fire log or square pose. That right shin is parallel to the front. Bottom of your foot is perpendicular to the ground. And the same thing, you can sit up or fold forward. I'm going to take the second option. I'm going to stack my knees for shoelace pose. So finding, again, that place where you're comfortably uncomfortable. Maybe that's holding onto your feet and leaning forward at first. Maybe you can take your arms in front of you. But you're going to find that stillness, and we're going to stay right there. And it's a little bit strange on this video to stay for 5 minutes. So if that feels weird to you, then play some music. Deep, full breaths into the pose, wherever you feel the tension in your body. As you release from this pose, release just a little bit. Take a couple breaths before you fully come out of the pose. And we're not going to go right into switching sides. We're going to move into our next pose. You're going to come all the way up to that seated position, or untwist if you were twisted. Now take your right leg behind you. We're going to come to pigeon, which is sleeping swan in yin class. So I'm going to turn sideways here. So right leg comes behind you. That left leg is going to bend in if it's not bent. So you've got pigeon with your left leg in front. Now you can fold forward or right down the center. If pigeon is not really working for you tonight, then bend your back leg, try deer pose. See if that's a better option. Or you can lie on your back for reclined pigeon, but you want your left leg on top. So we're doing the left side here. So that left ankle crosses over your right knee. As you pick your leg up, maybe pressing your left knee away. You don't have to even pick your leg up. But I'm going to come into this upright version. Sleeping swan, again, is what it's called in yin. Just coming forward. You want to keep those hips nice and square. If letting your head hang heavy, it feels okay, or resting your head on your hands, great. If that's too much tension on your neck, lift your chin up a little bit. You can enhance this pose by, if you need a little more, take your torso to the front right diagonal. Almost like you're smashing your foot with your body, reaching those arms forward. Or you can thread the needle. You would thread your right arm underneath, wrap your left arm behind your back, and catch your left big toe. I'm just going to take that folded forward sleeping swan. again by releasing just a little bit, taking a breath or two, and then fully allowing your body to come out of that pose. The third step of these three on this side, you're going to bend your back leg in. You're going to take this into half saddle with your right leg bent. So you can straighten out your left leg, take it back. You can tug that left leg in if you prefer. You can even plant your foot, knee up to the ceiling. If lying down makes your knee pop up off the ground, that's completely fine. It's a little more comfortable to lie down for this 5 minutes versus holding your body up. So it's okay if your knee comes up as long as it's not hurting your knee. An alternative to this would be to flip over on your belly, pull your right heel toward the outside of your hip. This is half saddle pose. If you're where I am or near where I am and you can hear the rain, it's a pretty great backdrop for yin. release that. Again, releasing just a little bit, take a breath or two, and then fully come out of that pose. So we're going to take those same 3 poses the opposite direction. I'm just turning to face you so that right leg again can be straight or bent, your left leg crossed over. Option 1 is just taking that twist, sitting up nice and tall, right elbow outside of your left knee and twisting. Option 2 is to stack your knees for shoelace, and option 3 is to open it up into that square pose, bottom of your foot perpendicular to the ground, shin parallel to the front. So take it wherever you want to take it right there, and make your way into that pose, resisting the urge again to pop out of it, to move around. Again, it's hard for me to mentally stay there for so long and not fidget too much. Releasing that a little bit, taking a breath or two, and then fully coming out of that pose. You're going to take your left leg behind you. Right leg's going to bend if it's not already bent. Left leg behind you straight for pigeon. If you'd rather bend that back knee in for deer, you can bend your back knee in, or you can lie on your back, cross your right ankle this time over your left knee if you're doing reclined pigeon. So focus is that right hip socket. Coming forward, if you need a little more, you can take your torso to the front left diagonal or thread the needle left arm under, right arm behind. I'm just going to take sleeping swan, also known as pigeon, right here. part 2 when we'll take this into our last pose, our 6th pose. You're going to bend that back leg in. Half saddle with your left leg back. So whatever your right leg needs to look like. Get my mat all kind of messed up here. You can lie on your back even if your left knee pops up. You can bend your right knee. Let your knee fall open, leg straight, whatever you prefer. Focus is that left quadricep, also your back if you're lying down. It's an internal rotation of that left hip. And you're going to release from that pose. You're going to make your way onto your back. So if you want to just stay on your back, untuck that leg, lie right back down. Give yourself some time here to take any final movements that you need. I usually like to end with the spinal twist. We're not staying there very long, just a few breaths one way. And then allow your twist to switch the opposite way. And you'll ultimately come to your Shavasana, your final relaxation. Spend a little bit of time there, just letting your body relax. Maybe this is the last few quiet moments of your day or your weekend. So just finding that stillness. Bringing some movement back to your body. Just allow yourself a release from your Shavasana. And ultimately make your way up to a comfortable seated position. Take a breath in together, reach your arms high. Exhale your hands to heart center. And with love and gratitude, from my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you all so much for joining me. I think I said this last time I taught yin. This forces me to do yin, which my body needs. I think everybody needs. So I appreciate the interaction and those who have joined me. I post all of these on my YouTube, so you can certainly follow along to all of my classes. They're just out there for anybody who wants them. I appreciate those who have donated so much, but it's not required. I realize that many of us are in a similar position right now. And good luck, be well, and we'll do something tomorrow, probably at noon. So have a great Friday night.